what's going on at YouTube? Welcome back to your favorite cyclist YouTube channel. This week, we're talking about my Yakima Viper fork mount racks. But before we get into today's video, if you are new to my channel, make sure you head down below, hit that subscribe button for me. If you already are subscribed, make sure you hit that bell icon right next to that. That way you get notified every time I upload. That way you don't miss any of this awesome cycling content we got on this channel. So today we're talking about my new racks here that we got on my wife's Ford Focus. So if you watched my last video, you'll know that I used to have the Yakima FrontLoaders on this car, and I had those for a long time. Those are the ones that allow you to keep both wheels on, and essentially it has a claw that comes up and grabs the front tire and holds it on that way. However, one of those decided to die, and I can't have mismatching racks. I gotta have both of them matched on the car to make it look good and make it make sense to me. A little bit of OCD, but that's okay. So what I went for these Yakima Viper fork mount racks here. So they are much different than the old Yakima front loaders I had. So obviously the front loaders, you can keep both tires on there. These Yakima Vipers are a different story. So the Yakima Vipers are meant to secure your bike by the fork. They're pretty much the way you would mount a bike to these racks is you'd move the front wheel, you'd loosen this quick release here, and your fork would drop in there. And you would then tighten it down just like you would a quick release, and your bike's set to go. Of course, it does have the wheel strap here on the back, so you can strap the rear wheel down, but this is going to be the main way to secure your bike. It's going to be by the fork. So why did I go with the Yakima Vipers versus all these other racks out there? Why did I choose these? And really the reason I chose them on my wife's car is this is her commuter. She drives to work every day in this, and I want something that was going to be pretty aerodynamic and not have a bunch of drag to it. Obviously those front loaders had a huge front face to them. So they were essentially a big air block while you're going down the road, which is part of the reason why I had this little fairing here in the middle, was to cut down the wind noise from that, because they were loud all the time and they did block a bunch of wind. So I went with these guys, which are much more aerodynamic and in general make her mileage better, I guess you could call it. I haven't had them on long enough to say it's better than nothing or better than the old racks, but in general this aerodynamic shape should help her get better gas mileage while driving her car around while just leaving the racks on here. Even with a bike on here, it puts the bike in a little bit more of an aerodynamic spot, so it kind of angles the bike down, and it makes it so the air can flow over it a little bit easier is kind of the theory behind it. So works good. You take the front wheel off, throw the front wheel in the back, and you're set to go. So obviously there's some downfalls to this style of rack, and really a reason why I think most people don't choose this type of rack. And that's going to be, it's designed around a quick release front wheel. The way bikes are now, you can find road bikes, gravel bikes, mountain bikes, dirt jumpers, everything out there, fat bikes. All those guys out there are pretty much gonna have a through axle on the front. So with a through axle, it's not gonna work with this basic quick release that's on here. So that's one of the biggest downfalls of why you don't see these are out very much anymore, is because right out of the box, this does not work with a through axle. However, there are companies out there that make a way to mount a through axle on there. And those companies make something very similar to this guy right here. So as you can tell, right down here, it looks like your standard fork, and that is made to slide into the slots your fork would. And then you have a tube up on the top here that's hollow all the way through, so you can drop your through axle in there, and this will act as a through axle adapter. Now, there's companies out there who make them. They sell them for like 50 to 60 bucks depending on the size of your axle, and of course you need a bunch. If you have multiple different bikes, multiple different axle sizes, you're gonna need a few of these to mount whatever bike you want to the roof. If you're like me and you've seen my channel enough, you know I'm not that kind of guy to spend 50, 60 bucks on a little chinky piece of metal. So I actually handmade these myself. A little bit of grinder, a little bit of welder, a little bit of paint, and there we go. Got our own adapters for our through axles. So this one in this case is a 12 by 100. This is made for my gravel bike. So with this guy, it goes in place in my front wheel. I'll take the front wheel out, slide this guy up into the dropouts, slide my through axle through there, and that will mount the bike to this adapter, and then from there you have just like your standard fork, and your fork just slides right on onto there and locks into place. So that is a nice way to do this. I even have one right here. This is a 20mm adapter. This is for my dirt jumper. So again, same deal, hollow all the way through, and just some simple bends to get it in place where it mounts onto the fork mount, just like it's supposed to. So again, you can buy these. They sell them, like I said, anywhere like 50, 60 bucks is like the general range I was seeing from a good reputable company. I made it myself, and I made two for about 26 bucks, and I still have tons of metal left over to make more, should I need more in the future. So that is a nice way to do this. Now, of course, it is an extra little thing you have to carry around with you if you're gonna be mounting one of those bikes. Something else you have to worry about, but for me it's nice to have this because a vast majority of my bikes are still going to be just a standard quick release mount, while I have only 2 that have a through axle. So this makes a difference for me. It works really good for my situation right now, and I still have the option to throw one of the other bikes on if I needed to with one of these adapters I made. So how secure is this rack? So I talked about security with the front loader rack before. The front loader had two locks, one to lock the rack onto the vehicle and one that ran a cable lock you could lock through the frame. This one here just has a lock on the lever itself. So on the lever itself, right here, I got the key. Nice SKS lock cores right here. Just go ahead and slide that guy in, and we just turn it to unlock, and it just pops open just like a quick release lever. And then when you're all set to lock your bike up, and your bike is all locked in there, you just go ahead and you close her up. Nice and tight, just like a quick release lever. You got lock it in there, and you could just leave it like that. Be perfectly fine for a short trip. However, you want extra security or you want extra peace of mind that your bike's that this is not going to come open no matter what you go over, you just go ahead, pop your key right back in, turn it to lock, and that guy isn't going anywhere. And the way that most forks are designed, they have a little bit of catch on the bottom. You can see I kind of made some into this guy right here at the very bottom. I made a little bump. That way, when it's locked in there, this thing isn't going to go popping out at any time. It's got little bumps at the bottom in order to catch and keep it from sliding out of the lockout. So, are these Yakima Vipers for everybody, or what do I think about these? So far, I've really liked these racks. They're much more aerodynamic. They give a good look to them. They're not as big and bulky as the last ones are. And ultimately, they're going to work really good for most of my fleet of bikes. Now, are they for everybody? No, they're not going to be for everybody. If you're someone who has pretty much the newest bike out there, or all your bikes are through axles and a whole bunch of different sizes, this might not be the choice for you. Because you'd have to carry around a bunch of those different adapters and deal with that, it just probably wouldn't be the best choice for you. You'd probably be better with something that would hold the wheel on. Now, if you're like me, has a bunch of bikes that are quick release, or older bikes that are quick release, or bolt on, and have just a basic standard fork, these racks are going to work great for you right here. Just because you can drop that in there. And then having just a couple bikes with a through axle that really don't go on this car that often, but having the ability to throw these on there if I wanted to, that's awesome for me. That works great. That's exactly the purpose I need these racks for. So I'm gonna have a link down below if you guys want to check out the Yakima Viper racks. I really like them. I bought these used with my own money because I like Yakima's products. I like the racks. They work really good for me, and I haven't gonna be wrong in all this time. If you are interested, again, down below is going to be a link to the Yakima Vipers. Check them out. And if you enjoyed the video or learned something from it, give this video a big thumbs up. Appreciate the support. And if you have any comments or questions, let me know down in the comments section below. Love talking to you guys. Love answering your questions as well. And we will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching today.